Hello, friends. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's always beautiful to have you here. Today, we're going to spend time discussing Koch's postulate or Koch's postulate, which is an integral part of the work we do as microbiologists. Now, Koch's postulate was the first set of postulates or criterion that helps us to understand totally the relationship between disease and the infectious agents that cause this disease. It's a set of criteria for which we're able to say with definite clarity that this particular pathogen is responsible for this disease. So before Robert Koch's work, it was the relationship between pathogens and diseases were relatively unclear. People were not so clear. But with Koch's postulate now, we're exactly clear about what this relationship is. Now, there are four of these postulates, and we'll run through them very quickly. The first of the postulates is that the microorganism or pathogen of interest, which we say is responsible for a disease, must be present in a diseased individual. So if you have an individual who says he's suffering from malaria, that means that if you take a sample of that individual, you're going to find Plasmodium species in that individual. It's as simple as that. So it's like an in and out thing. So we are sure that if we say an individual is suffering from a particular disease, then we are able to isolate or take out pathogens from the diseased individual, from the individual who says he's suffering from the disease. The pathogen of interest, which we say is causing this disease, must be present within that individual. That's the first of the postulates. Second is that the organism we must be able to isolate the organism and grow pure cultures of the organism. So this is important. If we say an individual is suffering from a disease, we must be able to one, we must be able to find the organism of interest in that individual. Secondly, we must be able to take samples from the individual and isolate pure cultures, pure organisms, a population of very pure organisms from this individual who says he's suffering from this particular disease. That's the second of the criteria or the postulates for Koch. Then the third one is that when the pure cultures that we have gotten from this individual, if we introduce it into a healthy person, the person must come down with the symptoms, the signs and symptoms of that disease. So if we isolated, let's say, gonorrhea from Neisseria gonorrhea from an individual that we say is suffering from Neisseria gonorrhea, if we take those pure cultures and put it into another individual or put it into our animal models, our Wister rats, we should be able to see that we have caused disease to an individual or an animal model that was healthy before. So this is important. These pure cultures that we have retrieved, if we put it into a healthy individual, a healthy animal model, we should be able to see signs and symptoms that makes us sure that it is this pathogen that is causing this disease. Then lastly, we should be able to re-isolate from the newly diseased organism, the organism that was healthy that we now put in our pure culture into. We should be able to isolate this organism again from that individual who was healthy before, that animal model that was healthy before, and we injected with our pathogen of interest. So this is important. This is the Koch's postulate, and it makes us. This is just a quick explanation of the Koch postulate, and we need to understand it for what it is. That is exactly what it is, and it helps us to know the relationship between disease and pathogens that cause this disease. Thank you for listening, and remember to like and share our content, and do have a beautiful day. Thank you.